We all remember the famous Micromax tagline, "Nothing like anything," and wondered what it meant. The company brought one smartphone after another a decade ago, capturing a healthy market share and becoming India's biggest mobile phone brand. Since then, it has been a downhill journey for not just Micromax but also other Indian mobile phone brands. The entry of Chinese companies decimated Indian brands like Micromax, Lava, Karbonn and Intex. TechArc, which tracks the market share of Indian versus Chinese brands, has analyzed this impact. The share of Indian brands has now fallen from 68% in 2015 to a mere 1% in 2021 in terms of shipments, marking a complete reversal in the handset environment. In the same period, the Chinese brands' volume share rose from 32% to a staggering 99% in 2021. In terms of value too, the share of Indian brands has dropped to a mere 1.2% in January to October period of 2021 compared to 25.4% in the calendar year 2015. In the same period, the Chinese have established their domination, hitting a value share of 64.5%, up from 17.8%. Indian brands are, however, still commanding a decent presence in the feature phone space. Even there, Itel, a Chinese brand, leads the feature phone market with some 27% market share, followed by Lava. And the rapid switch from feature phones to smartphones doesn't bode well for Indian firms. Indian players say Chinese smartphone makers were able to pull off this feat by discounting, which is reflected in their financials. Vivo made losses of 349 crore rupees in FY20, although its revenues went up by 45% to rupees 25,124 crore. Oppo also hit losses of rupees 2,203 crore in FY20 on revenues of rupees 38,757 crore. We spoke to Pavel Naya from Counterpoint Technology Market Research to understand why Indian brands could not keep pace with their Chinese peers.
If you talk about the prevalence of Indian brand in 2014-15, they almost have close to 1/3 of the market share. And in that point of time, this Chinese OEM, they started entering the market. In 2016 first quarter, they able to capture almost half of the total market share. First of all, most of these players play to their strength when they enter the Indian market. They did not actually copy their old strategy. So, for example, player like Oppo, Vivo, Xiaomi, they had quite a huge budget when they came to India. They started building a really strong offline presence. Xiaomi, Motorola, they came up with a very unique channel strategy. In that point of time, it is unheard of. It's basically online only. Oppo, Vivo, they started experimenting with the new aspect ratio of their new devices. Also, the emphasis on overall designing to make their device quite slick, and people who have money and want to upgrade from their entry level to mid or affordable premium segment, they did not have much options but to opt for this product. They were located closer to the ecosystem of smartphone manufacturing in China, and most of the Indian players used to rely on them, or the contract manufacturer based out of Chinese ecosystem. In fact, if you look at the kind of portfolio they had in the very initial stage, they kept it very lean. Those products are almost like 30% lesser cost than its competitive similar specs and value product, right? If you talk about India as a market, it is very price sensitive and people look for value for money. So most of these Indian brand used to rely on, though now they have started developing their R&D more recent years, but earlier they used to rely on the third party to design and develop and manufacture their product. So they lost their added advantage to those players who develop their in-house technologies.
In the recent times, to expand their market share, Chinese companies have been executing an umbrella branding strategy. This allowed them to follow different approaches for different product lines. Due to new government policies, they have also localized their production. This has made India the second biggest mobile manufacturer after China. Nearly all the phones sold in India are manufactured here. A media report states that Apple and Samsung are set to locally manufacture smartphones worth around $5 billion in FY22 under the government's production-linked incentive scheme, exceeding the centre's target by more than 50%. Although 5 domestic companies are availing themselves of the PLI scheme, They have committed only 10% of the total incremental production value of 11.75 lakh crore rupees under the 5-year scheme. Lava and Micromax are plotting a comeback boosted by the PLI scheme. But given the dominance of Chinese brands and Samsung, your guess is as good as mine whether they succeed in their plans. Experts, meanwhile, argue that the main reason behind this is the failure of the country to invest in research and development, keep pace with technological change, and build better products.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.